eighth graders. Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to another week at D. Helena Middle School. Part of being a counselor, part of being a teacher is we do our own education as well. We don't just preach that on to you guys. We are doing continuing ed all the time in order to better equip our skills and to be better teachers and to be better counselors. Part of mine is a book club that I'm in, and I just finished this book a couple months ago called The Seven Highly Habits of Effective Teens, and it got me thinking about how our habits are everything. I see so many kids saying, well, I'm going to start at this next week or tomorrow or next year, I'm going to do a better job with this. And what I think a lot of people don't understand is your daily habits, how you live life day in, day out, those guiding principles that you govern yourself by are so very important. So for the next 2 weeks, I decided to take those 7 highly effective habits of teens and break them down and talk a little bit more on and show you both ends of it, and so you can start to work that in your head a little bit. So let's get rocking and rolling on this. Hope you guys go out and make a great week at the Helena Middle School. All right, this week's Bob lesson is going to be titled Our Habits Are Everything. And these are going to be taken from the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. I can't take responsibility for all of this myself, even though I've kind of put a little bit of my own touch on it. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be Bob. Let's be safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. And let's be a learner. All right, as we go through this, I'm going to show you 2 different examples of an effective habit and a defective habit. I'm going to start with the defective habit on all of these and show you the effective habits. So one of the defective habits of number 1 is teenagers or adolescents or even human beings that react. These are people that blame all of their problems on their parents, stupid teachers. That's a quote out of the book. I don't think any of our teachers are stupid. Or coaches, your lousy neighborhood, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the government, or something or somebody else. It's a total victim's mentality that they carry. Take no responsibility for your life. It's always somebody else's wrongdoing. It's always somebody else's reason that we are having the outcome of our life that we are. They just act like an animal. If you're hungry, you eat. If you want to take a nap, you take a nap. If you want to do whatever you feel like in the moment, you just react and you do it. If someone yells at you, you yell right back at them. If you feel like doing something you know is wrong, you just do it anyways. Conversely, let's look at an effective habit, and that's instead of being reactive, we're going to be proactive, or we're going to plan. We're going to take responsibility for your life and your own problems. Your life is your life, and you get so much further in life if you take responsibility for it. Decide to overcome adverse situations maybe your parents, your family have put you in. Think things through before deciding how you're going to act. Taking that moment to really think it through instead of reacting. I see so many people in life, so many teens that just react and they let their emotion control them. Control their emotions instead of being controlled by your emotions, and that's a huge life maturity thing. When you have an adverse situation or somebody does something, you can feel yourself getting upset. You slow down, breathe deep, think before you act. Be the master of your own universe, and what that means is we're proactive. We decide how our life goes, not let the universe or other people decide how our life is going to go. And understand, this one's huge, understand that teachers and coaches, those adults that are in your life, challenge you to grow you, not to put you down, not to belittle you, not to despair you. Every teacher in our school, every teacher that you go through is there for a reason. They're there because they want to help adolescents. They want to help young people grow up to be the best they can. And sometimes that challenge can come across a certain way, but every time it's about helping to grow you, not to put you down. All right, habit number 2 is begin with no end in mind. You don't have a plan. You just kind of wake up and react to how the day goes. You avoid goals at all costs. You're really just living for the moment. You never think about tomorrow because tomorrow is just that. It's always tomorrow. It's one day away. Why worry about the consequences of your actions? Who really cares? You live for the moment. This may be promiscuous. Might be using drugs and alcohol. It might be eating and drinking whatever you want. It may be staying up late. It's essentially just living for whatever makes you feel good in the moment with little to no regard of consequences, whether that's positive or negative consequences of what could come from that. Conversely, having a vision is a great habit. Having a vision for what you want your life to be and things you want to achieve. Do you take time to think about these things? You guys are getting to the age, 13, 14 years old, where we're starting to have to make more and more decisions that directly affect our life and our futures. Do you know your values? Do you know those personal moral laws that you live by and what you stand for? And do you act in accordance with that every single day? Before acting on anything, do you think through the consequences? Consequences can be both negative and positive of each and every action and decision you make. Always be working towards something. And I have a typo there, I see. It can be anything. Maybe working towards improving your grades, improving your friendships, improving your other relationships, improving your health, improving your hygiene, improving your chances of making the team. Long story short, human beings are more successful if they're goal-oriented. And to be goal-oriented, you have to sit down and really think about and have a vision for where do I want my life to go and what steps do I need to achieve that, and then you act on it daily. I think there's a quote out there that says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I think that comes in real true in this habit number 2. All right, habit number 3, defective habit number 3 is put first things last. And what that means is whatever is most important in your life. Yes, there are some things that are more important than others. I hope we are starting to learn that. Don't do those things until you have spent sufficient amount of time watching reruns, talking endlessly on the phone, surfing the internet, Snapchatting everyone you know, and lounging around and being a couch potato. Always put off your homework until last, if you get to it at all. If not, I don't know, maybe you can scribble some things on the paper and turn it in, or just not turn it in at all. Make sure that things that don't matter always come before things that do. Conversely, putting first things first, prioritizing the most important things in life and getting those things done first. What are those things? Hopefully those things should be first and foremost coming to school every day and being Bob throughout the day in your classes, putting those phones away, dialing in on the lessons that your teachers are coming up with, being organized, writing down your stuff, making sure you allow enough time and effort to get your homework done and doing it your best, and then go on to the other things that you need to do. Then get to all of your other fun stuff next. Look out into the future of things you need to get done, projects, units, etc. As you move into high school, you're going to have different things that are due at different times. And if you're not prepared for that project that runs up on you and you haven't allocated enough time, then you're going to be in a world of hurt. One of the things that those of you that had Mr. Sturgar last year with his science unit sign-off sheets, I know a lot of you struggled with that, and I can empathize with you. But those of you that did have him, he was trying to prepare you for what things are going to look like in the future. And forecast the amount of time needed to get those things done. Look out into the future and take at the beginning of every week, I look at all the things I need to get done for the week. At the beginning of the month, I look at all the things I need to get done for the month, and then I work backwards down to what do I need to get done today, how much time do I need to allocate, so on and so forth. And as you get older, your life is only going to get busier, and so you've got to prioritize and get the things that are the most important things done first. And then most importantly, all this sounds great, but if you don't have the discipline to execute and get this done, then I just wasted the last couple minutes of my life on this with you. So have the discipline needed to get it done. All right, we will finish up with the other 4 next week. Now we're on to our quote of the week, and this is taken from the same book, and it is, we first make our habits, and then our habits make us. Habits are such an important part of life. It's the things that we do day in and day out that totally make or break our lives. Hope you guys enjoyed this. All right, let's get to this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week winners. We got Tommy Walker, Sam Kaiser, Keelan Smith, Elena Scott, and Kean Lloyd.
The answer was something on the lines of, how can you add 5 to 9 and get 2? Well, if it's 5 o'clock and you add 9 hours, you get 2 p.m. or a.m., depending on how you started. Nice work, crew. All right, this week's Jelly Bean question of the week. What 5-letter word would be pronounced the same if you only said its first letter? We should be able to get this one. Expect lots of answers in the Bob box next week with first and last names. Tune in next week, see if you're a winner. All right, Bobcats, let's make it a great week at the Helena Middle School.